What do you think? How are you feeling? How do you interpret what just happened out there?
Well, it was unfortunate. You know, we're in a game and we're fighting, we're battling, we're scrapping, and then we just basically lost control of it near the latter part of the third quarter. And you know, it just one of those things. You got to make some plays. Get to a fourth down situation, don't make a play. That's tough.
You guys came into this game as a clear underdog and struggling. Why did you decide to punt on those early possessions rather than perhaps setting an aggressive tone by going for it?
Mostly because of how the game was progressing. It was tight, it was close, so there was an opportunity. If we keep it tight and keep it close, the way we play down the stretch, who knows what happens. So until we got to, like I said, later in the third quarter, you know, that's what it was.
What did you make the defense today?
Well, it had its moments, but you know, a little inconsistent at times. Third quarter came out, got some stops early on, and then, you know, unfortunately, like I said, it just got away from us at that point.
Are you worried about what could happen after this game, just in terms of job security or anything like that?
I've told you before, I'm not worried about anything. All I'm going to do is do my job and see how things go. That's the only thing I can do.
How the defense has kind of been doing this a lot this year, the big plays and all that. How surprised are you and disappointed that it hasn't seemed to have gotten any better with that?
Well, I know this. At one point today, you know, there were some good things that they were doing. And again, as I said, you know, it just got away from us a little bit later in the third quarter. And, you know, the biggest thing is we just got to continue to evaluate and work to get it corrected.
And in that evaluation, with I guess the obvious questions are, any staff changes with that? Is that part of the evaluation with that?
I'm not going to get into any of that stuff.
Is there a time period where you do have to get into that stuff?
I'm not going to get into that stuff, okay?
Then just defensively tonight, is there something Dallas did particularly on the outside to attack the secondary that maybe was unexpected or surprising?
No, I think again we game planned them. I thought going into it, I thought we had some good things going, and unfortunately we didn't do the things that we needed to do.
Going back to the defense, Coach, specifically the pressure on Dak Prescott. Again, going back to what you did last week, we were able to get after the quarterback there for the Giants, but this week, no sacks on Dak. What did they do to make life easier for Dak?
Well, I think they mixed some things up. You know, they got the ball out of his hand early on. You know, they ran some play actions, ran some bootlegs, and you know, unfortunately, we just didn't get the pressure.
Coach, we talked earlier in the week about the Cowboys screen game. They were able to have some success tonight with it, and then also on the edges of the defense. Kind of, can you put your finger on what failed there?
Well, one of the biggest things, you know, is you got to set the vertical edges and keep everything contained, keep it inside. You don't let it get outside.
Coach, your observations of the game that Sam Howell had tonight.
Well, I thought Sam did some things. He was efficient early on. You know, made some really good decisions, got the ball out early. But you know, when you get into a position where you're trying to score, and they know you're trying to score, it gets really tough on you.
What happened on the fourth down where Jahan ran into Brian? What happened on the fourth down where Jahan ran into Brian?
Well, again, that's going to have to take a real good look at the tape to see how that all jumbled up. You know, I do know they got some penetration on that side.
If there are no changes, can players expect the results to change?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Take two more.
What's the conversation like with the team after that game?
It was tough, you know, solemn, you know, because there was a point, you know, we came out and they were playing, you know, giving ourselves a chance. But again, as I said, later on in the third quarter, it just got away.
Last one.
Coach, on the sidelines, some heated conversations between coordinators, or Jack Del Rio, the players, even John Allen got involved. I know you want to speak specifically to what was said, but can you kind of share the spirit of the conversation that were happening? Fair enough.
All right, thanks, Coach.